Really appreciate everybody for jumping in. For the conversation that rules the nation. Cardinals talk, balanced play calls, Dak Prescott's strength, Cowboys mindset. Let's set it up to be a good thing. Cowboy Nation. One way or another. Appreciate you. Let me know if you're part of the notification swat up. Shout out to all of the HBOs out there. You know who you are. Mama, there go that man again. Shout out to Country Rant and things. Shout out to the movement. The grind for your mind. Mic check 1. Let me know if my audio straight. Mic check 2. And remember, you're listening to nothing but that. Let's go. Shout out to you, Bama fan. Roll Tide. Yo. What we tell him? Ain't no party like a cowboy party.
He needs some milk.
Come on. Hey. Come on. If you don't like this show,
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
come on. Yeah. Come on. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. The name is Law Nation. Everything else remains the same, Cowboy Nation. As we talk about the Dallas Cowboys, we're going to listen in to 105.3 The Fan. Mike McCarthy had an interview earlier today, and we're going to go over that. But the mindset of this team, we're not satisfied. The thought, the philosophy, we have not accomplished anything. It's not time to sit back and say, yeah, this is what we've done, right? Cowboys, we got 2 more games, right? And then we enter into a new season, which will be called the postseason. And that mindset got to be clear. The goals got to be set in line, and things got to make sure that they manifest itself into greatness, right, Cowboy Nation? You know.
I want me some glory hole.
No doubt, Jerry. Winter is here. Shout out to you, Steven. Well, not in Texas. It's still kind of fickle with the weather right now. Here we go. Shout out to you. Appreciate you for jumping in. Thank everybody for being who you are. You know, this team in general, we got this thing called time and timing. We got this thing called patience. We got this thing called reverence, and we got to exhibit that, right? But before we go further into this, Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate you guys for helping me hitting the goal, the short-term goal of getting 70,000 subscribers. Appreciate everybody that's on the Instagram as well, near 30,000 there. Appreciate you guys. And 25,000 on Facebook. Appreciate you there. Appreciate y'all, man. But the grind is necessary for your mind, and then we try to grow the Twitter account. So be sure to hit up the Twitter. We're nearing 8,000 on Twitter, so appreciate it. And shout out to everybody, man, for this year. and all of the accomplishments of this year is unbelievable. Multiple partnerships with Spotify and Apple TV. I really appreciate them. And as well as Roku TV, I really appreciate everybody and applaud you guys for giving me the opportunity to spit my country mind to you. You know, speaking of country, shout out to Country Wayne. He was at the concert last night doing a comedy skit, and he said, "How about them Cowboys?" And I said, "Yeah, he's a real one, baby." You know, so the nation is growing, and we got our haters too. We got our haters out there, and we will not do a lot without them, right? You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can pull up this thing right quick to let me see if I can do it right quick while we're building the plane while it's in the air. Let me see if I can do it. Appreciate y'all, man, so much. Let me see. First thing first. No, speak for yourself, right? Speak for yourself. Let's see if I can pull this up right quick. All right. And I don't think he still got it up. No, he don't got it up anymore. Yeah. Up. He don't have it up anymore. He don't have it up anymore. He do. He might do. Okay. Nah, he don't have it up anymore.
I am simply delivering a message of statistics that Dak Prescott has delivered to me over the course of his career. Now, why do I say they won't make a playoff run? Because to make a playoff run, you have to beat playoff teams. And over the course of Dak Prescott's history, as we look at it, they just don't do that. Now, Dak Prescott versus non-playoff teams over the course of his career, 33-10. But playoff teams, 9-17. But let's zoom in a little bit, shall we? 2019 and 2020, 9-2 versus non-playoff teams. But versus playoff teams, 1-9. I know what y'all thinking. Dak Prescott got paid. Dak Prescott got healthy. So clearly 2021 will be different. But will it? Dak Prescott this year, 8-2 versus non-playoff teams, 2-2 versus current playoff teams. So to assume that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys are going to make a playoff run is to assume a statistical outlier. To assume that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys are going to make a playoff run is to assume a statistical anomaly. Essentially what I'm saying is for the Cowboys to make a playoff run, you're hoping on a coin flip.
All right, so the argument, and it was another excerpt that he spoke about. The argument was that Dak Prescott doesn't fare well against teams that are above 500, you know. And I'm glad that we got our research department here. Now, this is heading into the 2020 season, 2021 season. So this is data that's only reflect last year and beyond. But neither here nor there. Most quarterbacks are below 500, you know, against winning teams. We got the mighty Aaron Rodgers that I can tell you guys that a third of you guys would say, don't nobody throw a better ball than Aaron Rodgers. Nobody is better than Aaron Rodgers, right? But we look at this particular situation, and I know you probably had to squint your eyes to see, but Aaron Rodgers against teams that's above 500 or teams that's winning. Lo and behold, out of 80 games, his record is 36-43 with one tie. That is a .456. And let me read some of your comments. If I'm not the wisest man of all or the smartest man, you know, I'm kind of like in between. But from my acknowledgement and from my understanding that is not a good record to be a .456. I come here to tell you guys, when you continue to move the goalposts and try to make or paint a picture for someone to do something that's pretty much impossible, and you only grade that player by those standards, which will be really hard, Cowboy Nation. And to think of it, Baker Mayfield, he's 6 for 14. Jimmy Garoppolo, what you want a Jimmy Garoppolo right now, he's 9 wins and 6 losses amongst teams that's above 500. Oh, the great Kirk Cousins, right? 7 wins total, 35 losses against teams that's above 500. Now, Lamar Jackson, some of these numbers, Little bit obscure because it's only 16 games so far, but he's 10-6, which is not bad at all. Even Pat Mahomes, he's 10-6. That's not bad at all out of 16 games. All right, so Kyler Murray, he only got 3 wins, 11 losses, but it's only a short sample size. I mean, we're going to get that. It's only 14 games for him altogether, collectively speaking. Deshaun Watson, 7 wins out of 19 losses, 0.26. Now, Tom Brady, of course, the average, I love numbers, I love math. He's 121 games in. The man been playing for over 20 years. So, of course, he got a hell of a record. But why, Law? Well, you got to add in the fact that he did have one of the greatest coaches of all time, who's pretty much – I pulled up a stat once before with Bill Belichick when he was under Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, I think that he have a record that he never lost to a rookie quarterback, you know. So the thing can go on and on and on. We can nitpick left and right, but most quarterbacks, collectively speaking, are below 500 when they play against winning teams. That's just how it is, Cowboy Nation. You don't have to like it, but those are the facts. That is how the world works, basically. You play against a good team, 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose against that good team. Now, I don't give it a ounce of saying that, well, the quarterback is clearly the main reason versus the coach clearly is the main reason. But if you have to collectively add all of those pieces together, and that is what you get. That is what you get. Kick Murray butt on the field. Shout out to you, Stephen White. Yeah, appreciate you. I love y'all comments, man. Joy Taylor roasted him the other day. Yeah, Patrick. Yeah, he did. She did. I don't get wrapped up in stats like that. I go by what I see on the field, and that's money out of the you-know-what. I'm glad you do. I wish that everybody would do the same. But people gravitate towards numbers, which is okay. I look at it like this: when we do our assessments, on college tapes, my first thing to do is, okay, I look at the player on the field, and then I look at his stats. But I don't want to get into of a bog down of the player's skill set without seeing multiple games, especially when we look at and we start prospecting the younger players that's already in college, right, that's going to the pros. We look at their good games, we look at their bad games, and we look at their in-between games. But what we most look for, the game after they had a successful game, and then we look at the game after they had a horrible game. And that way you gauge the mindset of a player. Right? What was the guy that can sit Indian style and he can throw the ball for 75 yards, Indian style? On his knees he can throw the ball. What was his name? He played for, I believe, the Raiders. They drafted him. Had all of the tools, but didn't have the mindset. First round draft pick, I forgot his name, Russell something. You know, it just slipped my mind. You got to look at the complete picture. Are they hungry enough? What was his first name? What was his full name? What was his full government? DeMarcus Russell. Woo! Brother can sit on his knees, throw that ball 80 yards. I said that man had a cannon for an arm, but nothing in between that head.
Look at the whole playoffs QB. In whole NFL, Doc is 4th amongst the QB. Brady, Aaron, Mahomes. Doc can keep up with them all. Rank him for me.
All right. Shout out to you, Dwayne. Look at the whole playoff QBs. Okay. Dak is ranked 4th. Brady, Aaron, Mahomes. Dak can keep up with them. Well, I go back to saying this right here, Cowboy Nation. There are more quarterbacks that won the Super Bowl that's not in the elite category, juxtaposed to the quarterback that's elite. And what people want to get into the matchup of, can this quarterback do this better? Can this quarterback do that better? The main thing is how your collective team, can you lead your troops? Can you lead your troops in the battlefield? Can everybody fall? If it's a live grenade, who's willing to jump on that grenade, right? Can you manage the game enough to win the game? Now, regardless of what we can say about skill set, out of that list right there, I've never seen anyone throw the ball better than Patrick Mahomes. I can tell you right now. Maybe Aaron Rodgers, he's up there. But that Patrick Mahomes, I never saw a person that can flip their wrist like that and that ball just goes shooting out of there. Aaron Rodgers just been doing it for a longer time. Tom Brady himself, cerebral. He understands to manage the game, and he's smart and wise enough to say, okay, when I'm a free agent, I'm going to go where the defense is at. He knows defense win championships. And then the rest will follow. Gronk, the wide receivers. So when you look at Dak Prescott, I think that he can manage the game enough. He can use those Mississippi State legs enough. Shout out to you, Darryl. Appreciate you for the donation there. Thank you so much. I think that Dak Prescott can manage this game enough, knowing that he got a defense that can give the ball back to the offense. Take care of the ball. Don't make mistakes. If his mom was still on this dimension, she would tell him, hey, lessen the turnovers. Win the game. Live to fight another day. So let's stop getting into the fist fight about quarterback stats and everything else. I said and I uttered this before on this channel. Jim Kelly's stats far superior than what we've seen out of Troy Aikman. But I don't think that a third of you guys would look at it and say, well, we would take Jim Kelly. No, we would still take Troy Aikman. The intangibles for Troy and the system that he played out of are so much different than one from another. And if you want to do your research, you can pull it up and then you say, because the initial defense would be, Troy is better, Troy, I'll take Troy. You crazy, Law. And then you pull up the research and you say, man, hey, you right, dog. You know, you right, dog. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I say the intangibles. Jay Buck says, appreciate you. He says, if Trent Difford can win a Super Bowl, Dak definitely can. And Dak Prescott is way far superior than Trent Difford, right? So, and then if you look at what he was doing, Trent Difford, you don't have to go that far, basically. You can go literally to when Russell Wilson won his first Super Bowl. Literally, you can go and watch that season and then come back and say, hey, Law, you're right. Because Russell surely wasn't an elite quarterback when he won his first Super Bowl. Well, when he won his Super Bowl. You're right, Law. Brad Johnson, too, yeah. And Eli, Lance Bell, yeah. And Ravens won a ring with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco had one thing going for him, that deep ball. That joker got a cannon for an arm. He can launch it. It might not. It could be in the proximity, but it's not going to be there. You know, it'll be there. It won't be behind him. He will overthrow him before he underthrow him. You just got to get people to get up under it. Shout out to you, Nick. Cowboys up. Yep. So let's listen to, and Nick Foles won a Super Bowl too, right? And they ran it. They ran that ball. It was more like run, Eagles, run. Kind of like what the Eagles doing now, right? They are running the ball. I don't think that there's a team in the National Football League that's running the ball better than the Eagles right about now. So shout out to them for running the ball. But what happened when you take away that run and you force that team to throw it? And I'm thinking Sanders, he's not even playing this weekend. Y'all let me know if they're running back Sanders, if he's even playing this weekend. Let's listen to Mike McCarthy.
Coach to leadership and how that informs how you operate on a day-to-day basis with your coaches and your players.
Well, I think I think leadership. Obviously, everybody has a plan, but I think your style and approach is something you got to really pay attention to. And I think like a lot of things in life, consistency and efficiency is very, very important. We all talk about, the depth is in the details of what you do, and I think, everybody wants discipline in organization in their life, and I know especially professional athletes. So I think just being very consistent with our efficiency and approach, of regulation, discipline, training, and with that, I think it starts at the top, and I think our staffs have done a great job, and the players have connected with it, because at the end of the day, the players, trust me, they want to be pushed. They want to have the things that are going to help them improve and pull together and connect as a team. And as long as their approach is consistent, and these guys are, very well educated. You look at what today's football player, the experience they have in high school, let alone college today. I mean, you're getting a different type of athlete that as far as what they're exposed to than you did 20 years ago. So I think it's real important to be in tune with all those things.
It's so funny.
All right, so in tune with everything. Reports, I think Adam Schefter just reported that Kirk Cousins tested positive for C-19, so he will be out against the Packers this weekend. I think Kirk Cousins, did the Packers lost to the Vikings the first time? Who's the backup quarterback for the Vikings, by the way? Oh, my goodness, man. Who's the backup quarterback? Because what can happen here, and the element of surprise can be that too. Now, if Aaron Rodgers loses to a backup quarterback, I want to hear that same energy now. But neither here nor there. Sean Minion. Oh, Lord. Yeah, they. Oh, my goodness, man. Let's see who's the backup. Look, the Vikings. I'm pivoting a little bit. Let me pivot. Y'all all right? We ain't got nothing else to do. Happy New Year's to everybody. Our roster. Let's see who's on their roster. Let's go quarterbacks, Q's. Well, where you at, quarterbacks? Here we go. Get out of here. Later. I don't want to subscribe to y'all. Kellen Mond and Sean Minion. Kyle Slaughter. Jeez. Oh, my gosh, man. Hey, can we send Cooper Rush over there for just one game, But neither here nor there. All right, so we got Kellen Mond. He's like a poor man's Dak Prescott, right? Just playing. All right, so you got a guy that's 6'3", 212. I think Sean Mannion probably be the guy that can probably do something. Ooh, 7 years, 6'6". It's finna be Pig City. They finna pick. I think the Green Bay Packers about to have 3 to 4 interceptions. Yeah, Kellen Mond, A&M, he balled out there. I mean, he got some legs. He can run a little bit. I don't know, man. If they look at it and be run heavy, that probably can happen. We'll find out, baby. Special case about the Kellen Mond. He's going to show up and show out any given Sunday. Yep, it's an any given Sunday. But favor been falling on those Packers all year, baby. The Packers. Nobody talked about it, but they got a chance to play the Lions twice a year, right? And shout out to the Lions. I don't know how they pulled that one out against the Cards, but they get a chance to play the Lions twice a year. And, it just been favor.
You mentioned that because literally Micah Parsons was in high school 3 years ago. That's insane when you think about it. And this guy is a rookie and a leader on the team.
Yeah, I mean, Micah's, it's, you look at, what he brings to the table. Obviously, his talent definitely just, jumps out at you immediately. And we knew that when we had the opportunity to draft him. But yeah, it's really cool to see his personality grow. He has some excellent veteran, leadership and examples around him, and I think that's important because you want everybody to be able to be themselves within your structure and culture, and he obviously fits in great that way, and is just having an incredible rookie season.
Mike McCarthy, your head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, joining us right here on Sean and RJ. Coach, as we move toward this week and the preparation for the Arizona Cardinals, what update can you provide on Tyron Smith and how he's continued to look in practice and what his availability could look like for Sunday?
I like the way Tyron's practiced the last 2 days. He looks good. So, if everything stays on schedule, I see him ready to go Sunday.
Can you talk about how dangerous the Arizona Cardinals team is? They've got some injury situations.
Before they go into that, so Tyron Smith, he will play, and then we will look into the fact of how he played. Normally he comes off a little slow, a little sloppy, but I truly believe that he'll be ready to go against the Eagles. But Mike McCarthy said that he looked good in practice all week, and he should be good to go. So I can't wait to see Tyron Smith out there. And when I say a little slow, a little sloppy, that's just like giving up one play. we saw that against the Raiders. That was his first play back, and he was turning all into his own man and gave up pressure and gave up outside measures there. But the next game, he was very back into the groove. So it is what it is.
Situation got some protocol issues, but this was the team that was 9-2 last month.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you're talking about an excellent football team. Just high on productivity. I mean, it's all the way through now. This is probably as big or maybe the strongest challenge we've had to date this year. If you look at the team, the way they're laid out, offense, defense, and special teams. So, all three phases. This will be a juggernaut of a game. You got a Pro Bowl electric quarterback in Kyler Murray. I mean, he's can make plays from any part of the field. In the pocket, out of the pocket. Up tempo. Right. So this is a game we're excited about. Obviously, it's a game of high importance for both teams. So we're having a good week of prep, and I know our guys will be ready to go Sunday afternoon.
One of the things, Mike, that made this team successful on Sunday night was the up tempo and the pace that you all play with against a team in Washington, and were able to score and score often in that football game. How do you balance your play style relative to the input of your players and how they want to play week in and week out, especially based off that success that you guys had against Washington on Sunday night?
I just think it's very important when you go through your game plan process just to stay in tune with the vital signs of every football game. Every football game has its own ebb and flow to it. I mean, you anticipate which way it may or may not go, but your ability to adjust, in game is really of the most importance there. So, just when you want to maybe do more of it than not, each week based on matchups and different things, personnel groups, all that. So it's really part of the game plan process. But it is a weapon. I just think like anything, when you have 11 guys that can play a little quicker in the pre-snap, think a little quicker in the pre-snap, or ready to play a little faster than the other guy, it's definitely an advantage. So it's just being coordinated to play up tempo, whether it's in all the personnel groups or just some of the personnel groups. It's really all part of the game plan. So, and I thought the guys did a really nice job of it last week.
Ooh, don't give away too much secrets, but yeah, up tempo. I believe rhythm goes a long way, and then I believe that was the first interview kicking off the season. Dak Prescott was talking about like his guys. He believed that if it's like a track meet, he trusts his guys to keep it moving. Although they're huffing and puffing, he knows for sure that the pressure is added to them. Think about it. Think about the mental part of it. You got to keep up with Amari Cooper all day, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and then Schultz coming in doing his thing. And then you have the up-tempo with Tony Pollard or Ezekiel Elliott. That's a lot of stress on the defense. And then you got to make sure that even with Dak Prescott, when he's rolling out, he can use those Mississippi legs. I think that this team flourished so much with the up-tempo that they decided to hold it back into these last few games to showcase, hey, we can keep it up with you. We can keep everything grooving, keep everything fast-paced. And the offensive line, if you think about it, when you pulling a big old boy like La'el Collins, big 71, full head of steam coming your way. And then let's not forget about Zach Martin. And now you got Tyron Smith back. That up-tempo stuff, man, it kills the opposition. They be sitting there like, hey, can we just wave the white flag? Especially, don't let it be. Don't let it be that it's a turnover where the defense forces another takeaway and the building is just so crunk. Shoot.
You know, sometimes game plan is like playing poker. I mean, you guys are trying to figure out things on the other team, and they're trying to figure out what you might do. Not to show your hand or give your game plan away, but last year you guys used the spy on Jalen Hurts, the CJ package. And I was wondering if you could or if you would, not that you're going to show your hand.
Don't show your
Is
hand.
Kyler Murray
Don't
the
show your
type
hand.
of quarterback that you would use a spy on, say a Micah Parsons or somebody?
Well, I think if you just if you look at the past games he's competed in, there's some form of that principle in the defensive calls. I mean, it's definitely, you have to be aware of his ability to. I mean, he's so quick. He's so quick, and he's not only does he have the physical skills, but he's a very creative player.
Right.
That's what I appreciate about his game, because his ability to extend plays and you can't forget the part about the guy can make any throw too.
Right.
He can really spin it. So and it comes out. He's got a quick release, and he's got all those other things you're into it. So as far as your rush lane discipline and how you go after him in the passing game, it's definitely it's probably one of our top 1 or 2 targets this week.
Hey, let me ask y'all this question. It could be a foolish one. Is CJ Goodwin, is he pretty good? Is he pretty good as far as open field tackles, right? Number 29 for our team, CJ. Let me get a yes or a no. Is he pretty good? Like, he's always like the gunner on punt returns and kickoff, right? He's pretty quick, right? Will you create a package? Let me see what y'all say first. Lance Bell says yes. Okay. Man is a GOAT. CJ is a GOAT of special teams, right? And then last year he did a remarkable job against Hurts. Kind of shut down all of that stuff. Chenard says CJ is suspect, though. He's a big hitter. Jay Buck says yes. Would you sacrifice KZ for CJ Goodwin in certain packages? Because you really want Parsons to get home on some of those blitzing. So would you sacrifice KZ out of the lineup and say, okay, we're going to slide CJ in and he's going to spy Kyler Murray, and I've watched some film on KZ, and KZ been playing remarkable this year. Let's not get it twisted. But it's feast or famine with him. And it goes all the way back to the first game of the year. When KZ missed, he missed bad and poorly. Law, do you have any evidence on that? Well, I crucified as much as I could. I slandered. I put mud all over the guy's name. And I'm talking about Anthony Brown. Y'all remember the big play that he gave up? And he's supposed to play trail technique? Let me know who was that safety that was over the top that gave up that play, who slipped or what have you, who gave up that play, who was nowhere to be found. KZ. Law, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Well, the next game, Hear me out, and I'm not trying, because he does a good job as it relates to certain key indicators. He's playing a hell of a job, better than what we've seen in the past out of our safeties, by the way. But there was another big play the very next game against the Chargers. Although they didn't score on it, it was a big play given up. KZ forgot to slide over. It was on KZ. Well, Law, what are you talking about? You guys remember the Patriots game? Big play to Jason Bourne. Shout out to Bourne. You know, KZ did have Akeem. Yeah, KZ did have a pick in that game too, by the way. Yeah, he did have a pick in the Chargers game, yeah. But he also gave up a real big play in that Chargers game. I'll have to pull up the film to show you guys. But you guys also remember the Patriots game, right? Shout out to my guy. Shout out to you, Carl. Trayvon Diggs does a pick six in the very next play. KZ was there, and Diggs was trying to fight to the ball. Another big play given up. Lord giveth, the Lord taketh. Was it Kendrick Bourne? He's going to be Jason Bourne now. But shout out to Bourne, you know, whatever his first name is for the New England team. And not to pick at the kid, but just last game too, against the Washington football team, KZ didn't get enough depth. Big play in the middle of the field. But I like KZ juxtaposed to Xavier Woods, or I'm not going to throw too much salt at Jeff Heath. Jeff Heath could hit. All right, and juxtaposed to J.J. Wilcox. Y'all remember him, right? But I believe KZ is solid enough. But if it was a coin flip between KZ and Malik Hooker for the 2021 season, I'll go with Malik Hooker. But would you sacrifice C.J. Goodwin or Godwin? Is it good? His name is Goodwin. It's not Godwin. But would you sacrifice C.J. Goodwin for KZ for some packages? That's all I'm saying. And I'm not throwing any salt or shade at KZ. I like the kid. I like the mindset, the mentality, 174 pounds, not afraid to come down and field, by the way. Are you using KZ and Hooker at free? Are you talking about for the future? Or are you talking about far as now? Hooker been playing a wonderful job inside the box. Hooker been playing a great job coming down and fielding. But let it be known, Cowboy Nation, the strong safety of this team / linebacker, Sam, if you want to call him that, big nickel, Ben J-Rock. J-Ron Kersey, we don't even think about talking about another strong safety now with this team. Wilson, I just need to see another game from Wilson. He's solid. He have not been showing up on the bad end of plays, and he just been around the ball for a few plays, you know. And maybe I'll do an independent study of Wilson. Far as coverage from our linebackers, he's doing a wonderful job of coming down and hitting and fielding, but he's lacking in coverage, and that's number 42. That's number 42. And I'm not finna call him by his nickname.
When it was saying with the quarterbacks and going into your quarterback specifically, what was the most important aspect about Dak Prescott's success on Sunday night that you want to see him continue to show going forward throughout the rest of the regular season and into the playoffs?
Just taking care of the football. I think Dak is running the offense at a very, very, very high level. I think our numbers speak for themselves. I mean, it's amazing how sometimes things go. You know, people want to talk about the one or two games where the numbers weren't quite what they should be. But you know, as far as distributing of the ball, you know, getting managing the run game, you know, particularly versus people are throwing a lot of things at us. They're really junking up the defensive looks in first and second down more than I can recall in my years in the league. So he's managing, the the diversity of our game plan, not just in the passing game, but very much so in the run game. So, I mean, you're talking about the quarterback that's leading the number one offense in the National Football League, and it seems like all we talk about is a couple games where the numbers weren't quite right. So the point I'm making is I feel Dak has played at a very high level in managing and running the offense effectively in the way it needs to be ran. The only thing we need to just really focus on is, our giveaways as an offense are higher than we'd like. So it's just, you're always focused on that, but that's just the one thing we just got to continue to do. But I like everything else that we're doing.
Hey,
let me rewind for your mind, baby. Y'all love that? Shoot. Iron Mike done hit it again, baby.
The point I'm making is I feel Dak has played at a very high level in managing and running the offense effectively in the way it needs to be ran. The only thing we need to just really focus on is, our giveaways as an offense are higher than we'd like. So it's just, you're always focused on that, but that's just the one thing we just got to continue to do. But I like everything else that we're doing.
Hey, Coach, speaking of liking what you're doing, you guys have been very proactive with the protocols. I mean, every team has had some outbreaks here and there. You even had it yourself.
All right, well, we ain't finna talk about that one, but appreciate it.
FBI, open up!
We ain't going to that conversation. Shoot it down. We don't care about the protocol stuff, but I appreciate my guys, man. Be sure to check out Sean and RJ's show, but it was ran by the Hall of Fame Chris Arnold, and as well as my dog Kelvin, great. So y'all be sure to check out those boys. The link is in. I just post a link in the chat log there. Be sure to check them out. That's Sean and RJ's show, but that's Chris and Kelvin. They've been doing a wonderful job. This is the holiday season, and you got to use it or lose it. I've been off all week. I thought about doing marathon shows. Use it. If you work for a company and you got to use it or lose it time slot, let me know. Shoot, I got enough vacation time to last me all the way to January the 10th. I could just be like here all day. You get paid double time for your mind, I forgot to do this. I was supposed to lead off with the show with this conversational piece, but I'm going to hit my button right here.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
I'm a hard grader on myself, Cowboy Nation. Look at you. Look at you. Congratulations to you. Where you at? Small time pride. I just retired. Congratulations to you, man. I mean, we all fighting to get there. You already retired, meaning that your biggest thing that you have to do is get to that mailbox, right? But you already have the direct deposit. You don't even have to get to the mailbox. Your check come in. I love it, man. I love seeing. If you're retired, let me know. Post in the comment. I'm retired. And shout out to all of the people. That no longer
better than what we are used to. Hooker.
Yeah. KZ is better than what we are used to. Hooker. Wait, you got to rephrase that. Young Wilson. KZ is better than what we are used to. Both of them, Hooker and KZ, are better than what we used to. What we are accustomed to seeing. But my only thing is, and I got to stop being harsh on Xavier Woods, because at one point in time I was really high on him and I love his skill set, and we would never know what this particular coaching staff would have done for Xavier Woods. Believe it or not, the morale was down. It was a contract year for him, and players play two ways when it's a contract year. Players play two ways. They go lights out because they know that money is coming, or they play secure and say, hey, I'm just trying to survive for the year so that I can get that bag. And he took the route of, I'm just going to play it safe so I can get that bag. And it's not going to be for the Cowboys. And he got that bag. He got money. Shout out to you, Maz. I appreciate you. How about them Cowboys? Yeah, let me give one of these purge horns right here. How about them Cowboys? CFAP.
HWBUT them CWBEs.
Freddie? Oh, you retired. Hey, where that party gonna be at, Freddie? On April/May 2022. I believe my mom, she said she was gonna retire for 2022 as well. So shout out to everybody who's retiring, man. Good, great. Happy New Year's to everyone. Appreciate you guys, man. Retiring is a wonderful thing. But what I hit that horn for earlier, that shame, is because DeMarcus Ware was named Pro Football Hall of Fame finalist. And I don't like DeMarcus Ware at all. I promise you I don't like him. I absolutely love this guy. Don't cut that snippet out. Say the whole thing. I love DeMarcus Ware. He brought so much passion to the game, hope for us, And my biggest thing is who was part of the who wanted Sean Marion? It was DeMarcus Ware or Sean Marion. And I think Sean, he started off so fiery that a lot of people saying like, hey, Cowboys should have picked him. But we all was like, man, DeMarcus Ware, unbelievable story, quickness, burst, get off, gave us hope when we saw the number 9 and the 4 out there on the field. He just did a wonderful job for us, and it hurt my heart to see him go and lift that Lombardi trophy up with all of that orange on. But, yeah, it was just wonderful seeing him just get there, though. It was like a bittersweet moment. And we always wanted to see the man, DeMarcus Ware, lift that Lombardi trophy up with the silver and blue, but it just never happened to us or for us. But shout out to him, man. He's somewhere in South Lake and just living the best life that he can right now. Money out of the you-know-what. He says, Law, I won't be able to retire. I have special needs children or special needs child, but it's okay. I love to work, and she is a blessing, man. Round of applause to you, man. You are a real one, to deal with special needs and everything. But it's glory to help, those who can't help themselves. But I appreciate you for all that you do and being transparent with the nation. Appreciate you. He can this year, Law. Yeah. So we hope that DeMarcus Ware get into the Hall of Fame because he's one of the finalists. What it is to push this man back? No, you don't have to. Just look at how he made an impact to this team and changed the game for this team. I'm going to try to find some clips. I can go all the way back as far as the film assessment, I think all the way to 2011. And I'm going to find some film. I'm going to chop together some film. But my greatest play of DeMarcus Ware that you guys remember, it was a long time ago now. We played against the Michael Vick when he was with the Atlanta Falcons. And Vick dropped back to throw a ball. It was batted in the air, and it was caught by DeMarcus Ware. And he snatched it, and he did like this, and Vic fell to the ground, and DeMarcus Ware ran it all the way in for a pick six. Do you guys remember that one? That was like the play, because everybody was high on Mike Vick. Mike Vick, he's the cheat code. Yeah, everybody was high on him. But, man, when he made that pick six, baby, don't y'all know I was crunk as all. Oh, get out, baby. It was nice. It was nice, man. So that was one of the coolest plays I've seen out of DeMarcus Ware. You guys can post down below your coolest play of DeMarcus Ware. But DeMarcus, man, we tried to say, okay, if we can put another player on the opposite side of him, it would be crazy. We tried to do that defense mindset to what we're seeing now. and we just couldn't get right. We never invested it into a safety. My guy 41, he was good, but he wasn't getting picked. Terrence, y'all remember Terrence? Terrence Newman, he was good and all, whatever, but he would show up some games and disappear some games. It was never consistent the way we wanted, but we never invested into a safety. We had Terrence Newman. He was pretty fast. He was good. He was decent. He was solid. And Anthony Spencer, he just kept getting injured. Akeem Smith says, Jerry Jones, Law. Yeah, if I can find a way to create a time machine and go all the way back and say, hey, Will McClay, you the GM. Like the second or the third season of DeMarcus Ware, I'm quite sure that we can put together something fantastic, right? Terrence Newman was good. Yeah, he was good. But we needed some help on that defense, man. And the defense were ranked, I believe, in DeMarcus Ware tenured here. In 2009, I think we were ranked number 1 or number 2, respectfully. Right? We got some good pressure or what have you, but we never got the turnovers. Right? We just never had that solid safety, and then we never had anybody else. Like, we never had the philosophy or the thought track that we have now as far as the other linebackers and the other guys up front. It was DeMarcus Ware or bust, Ware or bust.
The pass in that game, and it's like, no. Actually, he was 25 or 30.
Babe, when you look at this offense and what had been taking place over the last several weeks, and then looking what Dak Prescott did on Sunday against Washington, did you know?
Greg Berry, why you gonna say that, dog? Never had a QB. Man, leave my guy Tony Romo alone, man. All Romo needed, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna touch it just a little bit, and I'm gonna get off of it. Romo was cursed with Jason Garrett. I'm just going to say it like it is, baby. Romo, the biggest flaws of Romo career, because we know he had the turnovers. We know that he didn't have the offensive line until like 2013-ish or 2012-ish, 13-ish. That's when he had the offensive line. But he was cursed by Jason Garrett. And I would sit there and tell people, the Romo era, if you just pick up, let's say Sean Payton, even Mike McCarthy, you know what I'm saying? Andy Reid, if you give him a different coach, you know what I'm saying? It would have been a whole different outcome. What we witnessed with Jason Garrett was Jason Garrett going through growing pains. It's equivalent. I'm not gonna do Kellen Moore like that. But what we witnessed with Jason Garrett is him going through growing pains and getting acclimated to coaching, being a head coach. And Jason Garrett, a wonderful guy, becoming a head coach, not being able to manage personalities or what have you. And it just went from, okay, it's the 5th year now. This is the 6th year. Oh, it's the 7th year, with Jason Garrett. Think about it. I'm going to touch on this one more time. The New York Giants hired Jason Garrett, and he was there with that organization for 26 games. And they said, we're done with this. We through. We can't take this no more. The team averaged less than 17 to 18 points a game. What that's the equivalent of, and I'm not, look, I love Jason Garrett, as a person, I love the guy. He's a wonderful person. His wife and all of the people, his father, may he rest in peace, his brother, everybody that worked under the Garrett administration. But the problem is we held on too tight, too long with him, and we just never got things going. And he says Romo never took the job seriously. Yeah, that's the story of a different day. But neither here nor there. I'm done with it. I'm done with the Romo talk. But we all love Romo, and And I get messages literally every other day saying, come on, Cowboys need to bring Romo back. And you guys, I feel that it's going to be the year 2030, and there will still be people saying, hey, Law, can the Cowboys just bring Romo back? You know, I think that he would never – he's like the ghost that never goes away. He's always going to be Romo.
Notice anything mechanically or anything different relative to what we saw – in the weeks prior to that Washington game that you noticed was different about his performance and what made him successful?
It's funny, Kevin, because I've been asked that a lot by different people, and what'd you see? And I'd love to say I'm the guy. I'd love to say I'm the guru who could tell you what's wrong or why this Paul. You know, I can point out certain passes that misfired, and I can say this is what happened, as any quarterback could, and say, well, he was spread out, his feet didn't get pointed, whatever. But I always say, you know, they got Kellen Moore over there. They got Doug Nussmeier, who's the quarterback coach. They got Mike McCarthy, who coached quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. They got a lot of guys over there looking at Dak. So for me to watch him, you know, from our booth and say, hey, here's what's happening would be, little self-aggrandizing. But since you asked the question, the one thing I saw, or a couple things I saw, and now Dak may say, oh, that's crazy. That's not even close. And I would say, okay, and I was totally wrong. But it looked like he really was turning it loose in this last game. And by that, I mean the ball. He was throwing it hard. And obviously there's a time for touch passes and all that, but the ball was jumping out of his hand, and it just looked like he was ripping it. And I remember John Kitna, when he got here, one of the things he talked to Dak a lot about, and Dak embraced, was basically kind of throwing the ball as hard as you can. And again, it's not every pass. There are certain passes where you're going to throw touch, you're going to take a little something off it. But I just thought he was ripping the ball. The other thing, his feet, to me, were very quiet. And right. I'll go back to a guy who obviously was a much better player than me, Steve Young. And I remember Steve Young saying, you can tape my lower body. You can tape from the waist down. I don't even have to see the throw, and I can tell you how I played. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. Of course, until you start watching Aaron Rodgers, and you would say, hey, the guy he must have never completed a pass in that game. And it's like, no. Actually, he was 25 or 30, had 5 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Right.
So there are some times where you would look at guys' feet and say, okay, wait a minute, that's not good. But I think with Dak, he really seemed to be a little more quiet in his feet and didn't seem as hurried to me in his reads. It seemed like he worked through the progression. I thought a couple games he just really got off of things really quickly and didn't let them develop, if that makes any sense.
What have you?
Well, to Babe Laufenberg conversation piece there. Shout out to Babe Laufenberg, by the way. Quarterbacks throw more with their legs than their arm, right? We all heard that storylines. Quarterback throw with your lower body. And the torque and all of that stuff and the zip on the ball, it's kind of like a motion, whereas the arm will follow. That's why it's like a good follow-through. But I've been saying this from what prime time Deion Sanders said. You look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. And that is all with the notion of confidence, right? Well, Law, what are you saying? What changed? Well, the offensive line. And when I did my Red Zone tape, I really appreciate those who watched the Red Zone film session. I would say disregard the opposing team skill set, but look at the concept. And I know it went over a lot of people's head, right? The concept was the mechanics, the flow, the rhythm, presenting what you have, what's best, getting into the groove, regardless of the opposing team skill set. You got to get comfortable. Dak Prescott got comfortable trusting his front five. And before anybody say, well, that's the Washington football team. Excuse me. I know that throughout the NFL, that front five, if we're just looking at the trenches, a lot of people will kick players off their team to get a Payne or to get a Jonathan Allen. Those boys are no one to sneeze at. The interior. If you win that matchup, 9 times out of 10, you're going to win the game. The game is literally won in the trenches. If you can bully people and blow them off the ball, pull, run, it doesn't matter of who your secondary. It's secondary, you know. It's second. It's not first there. Your first primary is winning the line of the LOS. You win that, you win every game. You literally will win every game if you win the game in the trenches. On both sides of the ball, of course. Football is simple but yet complex. Simple but yet complex. That's what a lot of people fail to realize. Everything else is just toppings and dressing. You can have a backfield. I kid you not. You can have a backfield where you got Revis Allen, you got Revis on one end, you got prime time Deion Sanders as your other corner. Your safety can be Rod Wilson
Is there
and run.
going to be a round table?
Yeah, Deshaun, is going to be a round table for 1 hour a little later on tonight. I believe around 7 o'clock we'll have the round table. Appreciate you, Deshaun. Kang! Let me give you a siren for that one. You can literally have Ronnie Lott, Rod Wilson. Well, you can throw Steve Atwater's in there too. And Prime and Revis as your secondary. If they can't win down in the trenches, it don't mean a hill of beans. Let me know. Let me know if I'm wrong. Shoo. If they can't, Dennis Smith, yeah, you can have all of those boys. But if they can't stop the run, if they can't stop the front, it don't matter. It don't matter. So you gotta learn to win the game down inside first. You gotta learn to win it that way. And Dak Prescott felt very comfortable. DBs can only cover for so long, right? Blow them off the ball, man, baby. I'm telling you guys. Cowboys figured that out, boy. I'm telling you.
You've been seeing from Arizona, babe, during this losing streak compared to the number 1 seed they were earlier in the year.
Well, I think, they started off, as we well know, on fire. They were 7-0, the only undefeated team at that point through 7 games. DeAndre Hopkins has missed, I believe, 5 games now, and that certainly hurts. Kyler missed some games in there. Now, I will say he missed 3 games, and they went 2-1 during that streak.
Yeah. Now y'all name some. Let's do the inverse. The greatest defensive tackles out there. I love this. Like you put some good defensive tackles out there. Let's say if you have a lineup like. Shoot, you can have a lot of, let's say, and remove like all off field stuff or what have you. Let's say you have a lineup like the guys that can be on the edge and also in the front. I just love having a little fun talk like this. Let's say you have Lawrence Taylor, Michael Parsons. Those are your 2 outside linebackers, right? And then down in the trenches you have a Reggie White. Somebody put Jerome Brown. Who else? Or Warren Sapp. Who else? You gotta get you a big boy, Saragusa. Yeah. Let's say you have that. Let me see. Name me somebody else, Cowboy Nation. Let me show you how we can flip it. Name me somebody else. John Randall. Yeah, he was good. Yeah. Give me a Cowboy. Give me Charles Haley. Give me Charles Haley. Eve rotation. And Aaron Donald. Shoot, you can put me at DB. They be like, man, that dude Law Nation, dog, he had 3 picks. hey, dog. No. Let's say Leon Lett, dog. You can put Vince Wilford. You can put Law Nation as a DB. Ed Too Tall, man, that Law Nation, Simeon Rice. You can put me in the secondary. I will be a Hall of Famer. Yeah, man, that dude from Natchez, Mississippi, dog. Yeah, that Law Nation, he was a hell of a DB out there, baby. If that front if they're front, you got Parsons in Lawrence Taylor out there, Big Russell Maryland. If you have a front like that, man, shoot, you can look. Let me just be the free safety. I'm picking off everything. Quarterback said, "Oh Lord, 85 Bears front." Yeah, I mean, you can have literally me as the DB. I might give him a few plays though. Oh my goodness, man. But the game is won in the trenches. That lets you know the value added with the DB. And I'm not saying that my guy Trayvon Diggs is only benefiting because of our front. But you guys get what I'm saying, collectively speaking.
But it's just, the NFL season, especially again with COVID, they've lost, I believe, 19 starters have missed games for them with COVID. So when you talk about continuity, and we hear it all the time, right? McCarthy talks about the O-line and the continuity and the history of playing together. 19 starters have missed games, and I think they've missed a total of 66 games on COVID. So,
wow.
We don't really look at it because we don't see Arizona on a day-to-day basis, but that's difficult going through. So I think they're a really good football team. I really do. They do a lot of things well. They're good on the front end. They're good on the back end. Buda Baker is a real playmaker. Mike McCarthy called him the X factor. And offensively, again, Hopkins being out hurts them. But people forget too, they're really a running team. You think of Cliff Kingsbury and Texas Tech and the air raid offense, and they like to run the football. And obviously James Conner is having a heck of a year for him. So they're a little more diversified than people think.
Babe Laufenberg, Cowboys color analyst here on 105.3 The Fan. What do you think of Kyler? What did you think of him coming out? Compare him. You've seen a lot of local football in your time here. Still do work with high school players. Kyler coming out, and is he the best that you've ever seen in this state?
That's a good question because I saw Matthew Stafford. I went and saw a game. I just wanted to say, hey, what's this guy about? There's a couple of high school kids here that, I didn't know Matthew Stafford at the time. Right. Where I say, I'm going to go see this guy.
Right.
The one guy I didn't see is Quinn Ewers, which I wish I had. In person, because you get a whole different feel watching a guy in person. But certainly I saw Kyler. Matter of fact, you remember the name Sosa Jamambo?
I do not.
He was a running back. He was a running back at Plano West.
Okay.
I think he was considered the best running back in the country. He went to UCLA. Career never quite took off the way the best running back in the country's career would.
Right.
But he played against Kyler. Allen played against Plano West, and I went up and watched that game. And Kyler Murray was one of those guys. You knew this kid was good. You knew all the stuff. You knew that he was undefeated as a high school quarterback. And you go and you watch, and you're going, good Lord. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. And I did. Now, I will tell you, I played against John Elway in high school.
Whoa.
I went to Crespi High School in Los Angeles. Elway went to Granada Hills High. And, I was a decent high school quarterback. And he ripped the ball. I don't know. You could have put an NFL player next to him. That's what I said about Stafford. When I saw Stafford, the way he threw the ball, I said, you could put this guy. Now, he wasn't going to be ready to handle everything that an NFL quarterback needed to handle. But if you just put him out there and everybody had red jerseys on and they didn't have numbers and you didn't tell me this one kid over here is a high school kid, he could have gotten in line and thrown with an NFL team in camp, and he would have been fine. And there aren't many guys like that. And obviously, a guy went on to become the number one pick in the draft, and we know what Stafford is now. But sometimes you see these high school kids, and they don't pan out for whatever reason in college. But Stafford obviously kept ascending, but he was dang good. Here's a couple I'll give you, though, guys, like Adrian Peterson, right? I never saw him play in high school. I can only imagine a high school kid trying to tackle Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, not
the guy could have won the Heisman as a freshman at Oklahoma. Earl Campbell, way back when, coming out of Tyler. I can only imagine, a 150-pound high school kid trying to tackle Earl Campbell because Earl, he was a man.
Derrick Henry high school
in high school. One thing I say about those guys too, very quickly, you go to a game. Anybody goes to a game. My mom could have gone to a game. My mom was born in Italy. She'd go to a game, and say, wow, that you watch Kyler Murray, for instance, and you go to that game and you say, wow, that one kid is a lot better than those other kids. And the amazing thing, though, for these really, really great athletes, the Deion Sanders and Kyler Murrays, you're going to go to the Cowboys game. I could have brought my mom, rest her soul, to the Cowboys game this Sunday, and she was said, wow, that number one, like, he's a lot better than those other kids. And I said, well, Mom, they're grown men, they're NFL players, and they're all great athletes. But, yeah, he's still better than the rest of them.
All right, so
Babe, when you look at this offense,
in a roundabout way, he was, and there's Babe Laufenberg, he was a little long-winded on that one, but in a roundabout way, he was talking about how good Kyler Murray is juxtaposed to anybody else he's seen. And there's a clip of his video there if you guys want to watch the whole thing without me pausing and rewinding. Sometimes people just stand out, man. Derrick Henry was, for me, watching his high school tape, you look at it and say, man, he's just faster than everybody and bigger, and it's just impossible to stop him. And you would think that you would never see that again. And then Bo Scarborough, you pull up his high school tape and you say, dang, this is like a replicate of Derrick Henry. And he went off to Bama, and then you'll see, okay, he disappeared when he got to the pros or what have you. Another high school tape, if you guys ever got time on Twitter, type in Barry Sanders, of course, but type in Allen Iverson. Oh, my gosh. Allen Iverson, as a high school athlete playing football, he was just faster and better than everybody, you know. We would never know what he would have looked like if he made it to the NFL aspect of it. But the guy was just amazing. Yeah, Michael Vick too. You know, nobody compares to Elway. Yeah, you're right. You know, oh my goodness, nobody compares to him. High school information when you go and find those older tapes. Who else? Who else at the tip of my tongue? Just amazing, like, highlights that you will see. Believe it or not, LeBron James, high school football tape, you say, man, that guy, he would have been amazing. Charlie Ward as well. So we've seen things like this before. Shout out to Kyler Murray. But this weekend, we're going to see some good, fantastic play by him. But we also going to see some fantastic play by, type in some highlights, just highlights, you know, don't get too technical with it. Type in highlights for Michael Parsons. Parsons literally is still developing into just a world-class athlete in everything. He was a hell of a running back. Shout out to Skywalker. I believe right before the draft, he was talking to us, me, Big Game James, and I believe also about Cowboy, about Parsons. He grew up in the same hometown or what have you. And he was saying that Parsons, man, he's something special. And look at him, you know what I'm saying? So just type in Parsons, running back, edge rusher, safety. That stuff is just crazy. And that's just how all of these things transition itself to the NFL on a good way. Who else? Somebody else that I want to talk about. This is just amazing like that. But when you get to the pros, baby, a whole lot of things change. Parsons tape is him everywhere. Yeah, you know, Parsons is everywhere. Special K. Romo basketball tape. Yeah, Romo basketball tape was pretty good. He was solid, you know. Michael Irvin. There's some clips of Michael Irvin playing basketball. You know, the playmaker. 360, yamming that thing, baby. I said, God, man, them guys was athletes back in the days, man. It was athletic. Terrell Owens too. You know, he could ball. Those boys, you know, outside of what they do on a natural field as it relates to football. And Ocho Cinco, soccer tape, man. It just go crazy over there. T.O. was a freak, yep. Was it Ocho Cinco? He said, I'm going to race a horse, you know. Joker line up a horse. He got up in the stands with a horse, you know. To this day, far as feet, far as feet on the field, getting in and out of his transition, that Ocho Cinco was something nice, baby. He did all of what he did with the NFL with Carson Palmer. We think that Tony Romo was robbed. Chad was robbed. He never had a quarterback, technically. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my goodness. He was robbed, man. I can only imagine. And then, of course, when he went to New England, it was just New England playbook was just like massive, too much to obtain, Yep. Sean Rogers, 6'3", 360, could dunk. Yep. Great feet. I think, Ocho had the best feet. I don't think nobody had better feet than Ocho, and playing DB against him, you just, out of respect, you're gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna bag up 5 yards. I ain't gonna let him do me like that. I ain't gonna let him do with me like that. Dez was robbed. I got a counter to that Dez situation. But that's a story of a different day. Shout out to my guy Dez Bryant. Carson Palmer was decent. If he had him a real one, baby. But shout out to Carson Palmer, baby. Shout out to Carson Palmer. All right, Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate you guys. I will be back for more and more episodes for you guys. I got to go grab something to eat. I just got the text message. Food was ready, so I'm going to grab me something to eat. And then we're going to talk about we're going to go over the Jerry Wayne Jones interview. We'll talk about that. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you guys for tuning in and being part of this episode. Let's go. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides, right? By the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil man. But neither here nor there, Cowboy Nation. I absolutely appreciate you guys. The round table will be tonight. Me, Bots Lombardi, Foots the King, Okoye Media, Skywalker Steel. We're going to try to puzzle you guys with our mind and hope that we can piece it together. Our thoughts of heading into the playoffs, right? At this time, Cowboy Nation, the Dallas Cowboys, one of the hottest teams heading into the playoffs. And we ain't trying to cool nothing off. And I like the mindset of every player. We have not accomplished nothing. We trying to get this thing going the best way possible. And that's lifting the Lombardi Trophy. I like my guy, Botch Lombardi. He put Lombardi in his name. That's what we fighting for. That's what we all want to accomplish and to achieve. We have to open up our eyes to see it, right? Can't get bogged down into any of this. But let's stay focused. Ain't this right, Ready Red? Elroy! Let's go. Shout out to you. Cowboys Experience event will be tomorrow between 3 and 5. I reached out to the guy that played with Bama. Yeah, he gonna be out there in the booth with me. Yeah, I can't wait to see y'all tomorrow between 3 and 5. Let's get this thing. Let's stay locked in. Let's stay refocused. Surprise guest tomorrow. Let me give you a hint. He wear number 3-1. Or he wear 3-1 when he was with us. Let's stay focused. Let's stay locked in. Let's gravitate our heart, soul, and mind together. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. No, he ain't Roy Williams. Roy Williams didn't play for Bama. Come on, man. Or it's George Teague, man. Yeah, George Teague gonna be on the show. Cowboy Nation, that's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. Yeah. Roll Tide, baby. Let's go. Yeah.
Nowadays, nothing really is ice. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on bling and she freeze. Photo, please, no photos. G's, no, please, no photos. Hit the door and the doorman just
come on.
Whole team here might need some. Still young, but I move like a new deal to my lawyer. If you're down in my management, I'm just warming up and wait till I
feel you, Jay Lombardi. Maybe we get Roy next time. Roy Williams next time. Shout out to Teague Podcast though. Come on. George got him a ring though. You know George Teague got him a ring. Come on. Turn me up.
Nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on bling and she freeze. Photo, please, no photos. G's, no, please, no photos. I keep giving game away. I put game on layaway. I got paid to play today. I get paid to stay away. I get paid on rainy days. I might make it rain today. I got paid off pain today. Thought it'd take the pain away. In my own lane, finger roll. I would never sell my only soul. Heard your whole team was for sale. Heard this on the market for the low. Who the realest, we might never know. All this acting, you gon' play a role. Give you the world when they sign you up. Try you out and then they line you up. Ooh, now you're looking hungry, ribs are touching, need some food. Now you're all on live acting surprised, but you was fooled. Boy, get out the way, it's been a day, now you're old news. Now you got the pen and pad, you're trying to take my moves. Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got white.
No doubt. If we had, if he said if we had TJ Watt instead of tacos, shoot. Why you had to throw me off like that, man? If we had TJ Watt. And D-Law, what he's doing now? Oh, my God. And what Parsons is doing now? But we can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, baby. This team now will be the team that lift up that Lombardi trophy. Everybody get them a ring, right? Come on, baby.
I ran up a check, I might do it again. And the
Peace.
close had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, it's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll,